Hi everyone! Things are getting more and more interesting on Lian Li's site as they release all these wireless ARGB devices. And with me, on my left, this is the SL Wireless LCD 120 at the center, which is the reverse blade of the same format, which you have the LCD. Next, you have a very simple fan which is known as the SL Wireless 120, inclusive of the reverse blade. And last but not least, the streamer wireless. A lot to cover, but nevertheless, I will go through with you guys. With this said, I'd like to thank Lian Li to have provided all this unit for me to share with you all. And at the meantime, a gratitude of thanks for all these years that you have supported my channel. I am very grateful. And to Block Soda to have always arranging the delivery to get hold of this item. Greatly appreciated it. Let's begin. This Lian Li wireless Uni Fans, be it the SL, which is normal, and the SL LCD, where you have the LCD panel, they come in two colors, which is in black or in white. And they do provide single pack and triple pack, be it the normal ones or the LCD. And they do also come with the reverse pack, or should I say reverse blade. These are the reverse blade, and also having single pack and triple pack. I'll show you the content later on what's the difference between the single pack and the triple pack. Now, some of you might be curious, what is the reverse blade for? For an illustration, this is the normal blade, whereby the arch is towards you. If you were to purchase a reverse blade, this is how it looks like. Okay, let me just do it this way. See, this is how it looks like. The arch is inwards instead of protruding upwards. And this is the rear side of the fan, whereby how the air is drawn. For the normal blade, right, the fan is going, the air is going through here, which means to say it sucks from the rear and blow off from the front, where you have this frame over here. And some of you do not want to look at this frame, so you purchase the reverse blade, whereby the air direction is sucking from the back, intake from the back, and to blow from the front, whereby you don't see the frame. So when you position the fan to a certain part of the case, be it the side or the bottom fans, right, you will not see the blade. You will not see the frame at all. You will see this. The construction of this fans, I'll start off with the SL without the LCD. It's very sturdy and it's very squarish, though they have some contour. So when you daisy chain them together, there's no gaps. This is good, whereby you will focus all the airflow through the fan and to exhaust over here. If it's reverse, right, you will exhaust over here. So it's full channel of air pressure. And besides this, right, each fans on both sides, be it the rear or the front, you have this rubber grommets, which is the anti-shock rubber grommets, where the vibration of the fan, right, when you mount in the case, it will not vibrate and making noise when you mount on the case tray, or should I say the fan tray and such. And each of these rubber grommets has this cover. A very nice thought from Lian Li. Well done. In fact, okay, it takes some time to pry open the cover. This is the rubber cover, whereby you place your screw, and when you mount the fan on the case fan tray, right, you can just cover it. This is for aesthetic. So they have this cover on all four corners, be it the rear or the back. See, nicely done. And there are a total of 7 blades. These SL fans are ideal for case airflow. And I did test on the radiator. It is okay, but the LCD performed much better, just for your information. Now besides this, right, as there is a crest at the front where you have the frame, and at the back you have a crest logo which says Lian Li. Nicely done. And when I swivel, or should I say when I rotate the motor, right, it doesn't wobble. See, it's very sturdy. And as mentioned to you, right, these are daisy chainable. So the daisy chain mechanism is that you have this pole pin here and the PCB, you just match it. And when you're doing the daisy chain, please do not do it this way, alright? It's wrong. Where you have one side frame, one side without frame. You have to do it without the frame. So you align this and to do your daisy chain. See, nicely done. And one thing good about this is that if you intend to place this on a radiator, this daisy chain interlock mechanism, okay, over here, you can remove them. And why are you removing it? Based on the fact that, see, it's removable. Don't lose this, alright? Keep it if you do remove this. So at times whereby you mount in a case or maybe on the radiator where you have the holes, right, it's not blocking it. So this is the flexibility of the daisy chain mechanism. Nicely done. Okay, we'll just put this one side. Now, coming to the LCD, the difference is that it has a LCD and the blade is different, whereby this is total of a 9-blader instead of the 7-blader, and this have more static pressure, and the construction is similar. Now, further on of the similarity of these fans against the SL, as mentioned, both are of the same construction, and the LEDs are nicely done, nicely cut. There are two sections of the ARGB, which is this frame over here, the whole top, and this. So there are two sections, be it this SL LCD or the SL normal ones. They have the same construction on the ARGB. So when you daisy chain them together, right, it's a continuous LEDs or ARGBs similar to the frame. And when you look at the side, right, see this whole metal piece, there are no split. Nicely done. Oh, I forgot to mention that both of this type of fans, be the SL or the SL LCD, at both ends it has a very nice metal plate, or should I say metal frame. Okay. Now for the LCD itself, this is a 1.6-inch LCD where you can display things like animations, temperature and such, which I will show you later. And on the other end, this is where it doesn't have the chrome crest on the SL. See, it exposed this logo over here. So you do purchase this, and if this is facing you, right, as in like intake from the side or the bottom, right, it's going to be very ugly. So it's ideally for this normal LCD, right, because you want to feature the LCD, so it's either to the rear of your case or to the top where your radiator is, or the open area at the top, so you can see the LCD. Now as for the specs, all this SL wireless or the SL LCD wireless, these are all 12 DC current, and the drawing amperage starting off with the SL, this is at 0.15 ampere, and for this it's drawing at 0.22 ampere, and the RPM for the SL is at 300 minimum, the max is 2000 RPM. Else for the LCD it's at 300 minimum and 1900 max RPM. And for the rest of the specs, as in like the static pressure and the airflow and such, you can check on the specs which is shown right in front of you. And kindly note that all these fans are fluid dynamic bearings. For daisy chain style, please pay attention and don't commit the mistakes. Okay, now for the SL wireless without the LCD, you can chain up to 4 fans and not more. And as for the LCD, you can change max up to 3 LCD fans. Now the uniqueness of this Uni fans, you can mix, as in to have the LCD with the SL together. But when you're doing a mix configuration of the daisy chain, make sure the formation is this way, whereby you can only connect 2 SL, which is the normal ones, and 2 LCD. So these are the limitation. Of course, you can do 3 like this, which you have 2 normal and 1 LCD, or you can choose to place 2 LCD with 1 normal ones. But for the max run, if you want to place 4 fans, make sure you do it in this configuration where you have 2 LCD and 2 normal ones, and not 3 LCD and 1 normal ones. That will not work. Same goes to where you place 3 normal ones and 1 LCD. That will take up a lot of power. So take note on this. As for the accessories for the different package, starting off with the SL wireless, this is without the LCD, and this is how the package look like. Now if you purchase the reverse fan, right, for triple pack, there will be a logo over here in red, or label in red, which says reverse blade, just like what you see here on the single pack, reverse blade. And what's inside this box? You will be provided with a controller. This is known as the L wireless sync controller, and there's 2 methods to power up this controller. It's either you plug directly to your rear I/O USB port or the front I/O USB port, and this will power up everything, and you can start to use L connector to control this. Or if you choose, because this is quite big, if you choose to hide this inside your case, you're provided with this cable, whereby one end is the proprietary connector to connect to the rear of the controller, and this is where you plug to your USB 2.0 socket. In fact, this is a USB connector, okay, that reads the L connect application to be transmitted to the controller and to be received to your fan. And this is the 4-pin PWM fan connector. In the event if you choose not to use the L connect RPM control and you wish to use the motherboard RPM, the fan curve and such, right, you can connect this to any of the headers, but make sure that you configure your fan curve according to that header, and to bypass the L connector by syncing to the motherboard, okay, which I'll explain later. Now besides this, instruction manual on how to do the connection on the controller, which I explained earlier. You'll be provided with 3 bags of screws, each with 4 screws to hold your fans on your case tray and such. Next will be this important receiver point, where why is this wireless, right? Basically, this is just a connection to supply power, okay? This does not have a RPM reading, so don't take it as you plug this receiver end right to the fan and you plug this to any of the fan header on your motherboard. You can start to use your motherboard fan curve, right, to control it, because it doesn't have a third pin on the sensor, so on the RPM. So make sure that don't assume that you can control the RPM through here. In fact, the RPM is through the controller. Either you use the L connector or to bypass it to make use of the motherboard. So with this say, right, this when you connect, okay, this end here, to connect this receiver, okay, whereby the transmission is going through your controller from L connect, and to pass all the commands to this receiver end to connect this to your fan in order to activate all the RPMs and all the ARGB, right, you need to connect this to your fan. So as you can see here, right, one is with a bigger lock, the other one is actually a smaller lock. So you have to flush accordingly to the holes on your fans, which one is small, one is big. It only can go in one direction. Okay, then you place it in and plug it in. And in the event, if let's say that, for example, your cable, let's say, is not facing that way, it's facing this way, how do you shift? Okay, let me just shift this. I'm talking about, imagine that this is the okay, I will not, okay, this is actually the bottom fans, okay, assuming, and your cables are down here, and you wouldn't want to see this cable when you do the cable management. You want to tuck it to the other side. All is needed, remove off this cover off from this receiver. Okay, there is this guiding lock mechanism. Take out the thin cable, make sure that you don't break it, right? Be careful with it. Then you can just turn to the other side and to lock it down on the other side. Okay, this is going to take some time. I'm not going to lock it right now, just to show you you can do this. Then you can place back the cover. It's quite simple. Then your cables will be facing towards your motherboard area instead of at the front. Now, besides this, you are provided with this fan splitter. In the event if you were to plug this directly to the motherboard fan header, right, and you find that the fans are flickering or your fan spinning is like jerking and such, it's like, not consistent, and you find something is wrong and it's like blinking and blinking, that indicates that it's insufficient power. So in order to counter attack that issue, plug this splitter cable which is provided, one end to your PSU SATA connection point where it provides the power source, and to this splitter. So you just connect this to it. In fact, I would advise not to plug this directly to the motherboard, because your motherboard in fact is doing all the necessary drawing of power onto your processor, to your M.2s and such. I would prefer a clean current to your devices. So best is to connect this to your SATA to provide the power source directly from your PSU, bypass the motherboard. Okay, you don't need the power from the motherboard. Let the power be focused on other stuff on your motherboard. So by drawing the direct current from here, right, you're provided clean current to your fans, and there are total of additional 2 more. If let's say you purchase another single fan, like the individual fan, you can just connect on with this connection point. This is more ideal. Now, besides this, you will be provided with the overall instruction where it teach you how to do the connection point, as in like the interconnection point, and to remove off the studs over here. The locking mechanism, as I showed you earlier, you can remove. See, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, I'm not going to remove this. Then besides this, it does give you this instruction where to download the L-Connect 3 application. It's either you scan the QR code, or you can go to the website which is listed over here. Now for the single pack, which is this, assuming this is actually not reverse blade, okay, be it the reverse blade or not the reverse blade, single pack, the accessories is very simple. You only have one receiver end, no controllers, and a pair of screws, and the instruction manual. So this is straightforward. Now coming to the, okay, let me just take this off first. Coming to the SL LCD, the accessories is almost identical to the SL wireless, where you are provided with a controller, okay, the proprietary connector, which I mentioned to you. Either you plug this controller directly to your rear I/O USB port, or to use this internally to hide the controller. And of course the instructions, coming with 3 bags of screws due to the fact that you have 3 fans. And you will be provided with this splitter tool, okay, giving sufficient power. Now the only thing that is different is this receiver. Based on the fact that your receiver have an LCD, you will need additional 2.0 socket on your motherboard for it to provide power and signal to all this LCD. So that's why you see the receiver, right? This is the SL LCD. You have one side which supply the power. So take note, this receiver, right, be it the SL or the SL LCD, right, it is not a RPM controlled connector. Okay, this is just to supply power. Now back to where I was. In order for this LCD to function, you need to connect this USB connector to your motherboard. So see the difference? This is the SL wireless, this is the SL LCD. You see the connection point? Without the LCD, you only have the power source, but for the LCD, right, you have the USB connector and the power source. And for this, I will strongly encourage, okay, do not just plug the USB to your motherboard, USB 2.0 socket, and the 4-pin PWM connector directly to your motherboard. Make sure you make use of the splitter, which is this. Okay, direct source power from your PSU and to provide to your SL LCD. Okay, make sure you make use of this, okay, for your LCD. For the normal ones, probably you can go by plugging to your motherboard, but I still will encourage that, be it the SL or the SL LCD, make sure to make use of this. Give them clean power to power up your fans. Since either of the SL Uni fans, be it the LCD or the non-LCD, they make use of the same controller, I will first start off with the controller. A fast way to power up this controller is just to remove this, plug this to the rear USB port of your motherboard. So when you plug this in, it will just power, and you can straight away make use of the L-Connect 3 to control your fans. But the thing is, imagine that this is the front of your desk and this is the rear. This does take up space, and you might not have enough space to push your case towards the front. So in such event, right, there is another method whereby, or should I say the same method, it's just that I have altered it a bit. You can make use of extension like this, which is the male and female USB type A, and this is version 3.0. You can just plug this controller to one end, okay, and this to the rear of the port. And once you've done this, right, you see, it's not so bulky, and you can just tuck this cable inside your case and to put this inside your case, and that's done. Or another method, instead of using the USB, which this method I would say is okay to use, but some boards, right, like the B450 or the Z390, the older version motherboard, right, there might be not enough power to power up the USB and the USB to this controller. But anyway, if you are able to with latest motherboard, right, you wouldn't want to go through the hassle like what I mentioned on this. But I would prefer to use this rather than this, based on the fact that this you can use the 3.0 power to power up the controller, else this is using 2.0. So how stable it is, till now I haven't found any problem with the latest motherboard, but I do have problems with the older version motherboard. It's like the, as mentioned, B450 and the Z390s. So the second method, which is internally to your motherboard, you gotta make use of the USB 2 socket. And over at this end, right, as mentioned to you, the proprietary connector, make sure you plug this in nicely, and there's only one direction, don't force it in. Okay, if you can't, just turn, as in, like, you know, turn the connector, and to firmly push this pin down, just use your fingernails. If you have, push it down. Something which okay, this technology is amazing. It's just that I do not like this flimsy cable. Probably Lian Li should improve on this. Just have a physical plug to plug it in rather than this tiny, tiny JST pin, which is kind of difficult to plug it in. And when you remove, right, you have to be very careful. Make sure you pull everything and not just pull one side and pull. You might just rip off the tiny cables. So now back to where I was. Once you have done this, on the other end where you have this USB connector, connect to your motherboard USB 2.0 header. So this is done. And as for this, I mentioned to you, if you want your fan to be controlled using your motherboard utility, fan curve, or the UEFI or the BIOS, you can plug this to any of the headers. But do take note, when you plug this header in, right, you can't control individual fans which is grouped to this controller. It will only take one instruction. Let's say you plug it to this PWM fan header. So this will transmit whatever fan curve you have done to all the fans that is grouped to this controller. And it can do up to max 10 group, meaning to say one set of 3 to one group, one set of 3 to one group, one set of 4 to another group. So maximum of 10, inclusive of the streamers, which you have 2. So you have considered 8 ports total. You know the OL Connect device, right? You have 4 ports. So instead of 4, you can do 8. Okay, that is the derivative of what I'm trying to say. So once you've done this, right, as mentioned, if you plug to only one fan header over here, right, whatever fan curve that you have programmed over here and you bypass L Connect, all the channels of your fans will follow just this. You can't set it individually. Else, if you don't use this, and to make use of the L Connect, you have full control to control individual fans, as in like the set of fans, like the top, the front, the bottom, the rear. So if you don't intend to use the motherboard RPM curve, right, you can just unplug this. It doesn't really matter. So this is the second method. Now I'll just leave it plug. Coming to the fans, it's pretty straightforward. Starting off with the SL wireless. As mentioned to you, this is just the receiver and it's just a power source to power up your ARGB strips, your RPM, and the receiver. Plug this to any of the motherboard fan header, but again, I have emphasized this to give clean power to your fan. Use this splitter, whereby one end which is connected to your PSU SATA connector, see, and at the other end, just plug it in. So with this said, right, you can simply, let's say you have another set which is the TL, SLTL. You can just simply plug this. Okay, I should unscrew this first. You can just simply plug the 4-pin PWM directly to this splitter. See? And you will just power up. Now, as for as for SL LCD, there's one additional plug. So be mindful, which is the USB type. This is the USB connector, which is meant to plug to your motherboard. Okay, and if your motherboard have only one left, right, and let's say you want to add on additional SL LCD fans, right, on another set, you will have another plug, and you don't have enough to plug. In such event, I would advise you to get an internal hub that is powered by SATA source. Reason being, right, if you were to buy a splitter, right, that will not be enough power because you've been sharing the same whole connection. So it's best that you get the hub, internal hub that has a power source to the hub, so that you can connect, the numerous of LCD USB internal connector. So if this say, right, okay, just nice, this board has 2, so I just plug this in. See? No more left. So if you want to add another set, you got to find method to plug to your USB, the USB header on your motherboard, which I mentioned to you. Get a internal hub that is powered by SATA source. Okay, now I'm going to take you to the L Connect application and to show you all the gadgets of what this can be done. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to mention, if you want to combine, as in like to mix both the LCD and the normal ones, you can just mix, as mentioned to you, two. Okay, it doesn't matter the arrangement. Okay, let me just take this out. It doesn't matter the arrangement whether you put it this way or put it this way or even alternate. Okay, you can take up two normal, two LCD, but the thing is that on the connection point at the end, right, make sure you make use of the LCD. Okay, I know this is very messy. I will take this off. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that this connection point over here, right, as you know that for the normal ones, it doesn't come with the USB connector, which controls the LCD. So make sure you make use of the SLLCD connector, which has 2 points, one for the 4-pin PWM, the other one is for the USB. So if you don't have that, right, and you make use of the SL that doesn't come with the USB, you won't be able to control the LCD. So take note on this. This is how the L Connect 3 application looks like, whereby system info, you show you all the stats of your system, like your temperature of the CPU, the RAMs and such. And of course you can look at the system specs, which is listed. Now, I'm not going to go through every one of them, but just to show you a brief introduction of what should be done. When you start connecting everything to your system and you power up, this is what you get on the fans. It's all white. This is an indication telling you that it's not syncing up with the controller. So what you need to do before you sync up your fans with the controller, first thing you need to do is to check on device manager. Scroll down under universal serial bus devices, double click on it, and you will have all this listed, which is meant for your SL and the SL LCD wireless Uni fans. So once this is done, right, okay, sometimes you might find that when you plug your fan connector directly to the motherboard, which supplies the power, which I mentioned earlier, this will flicker. So in such event, right, make sure to power up using the fan splitter that is directly connected. The other end is connected to the PSU. Make sure you do that. Make sure this is stable, it doesn't flicker. Once this is done, you can start to sync up your fans to the controller. By clicking this L wireless sync setup, you will see this interface where you have two sections, where I have the LCD at the top and the normal at the bottom. So with this say, right, I'll just sync up. See, it syncs up with the normal LS wireless. Now with this say, right, I would suggest to label this channels. So once you link up this, this is the the SL normal fans, you can just click here and change the labeling. So you know that this is actually the normal. Then next, when you sync up to this, see, this is the LCD. You can change this to, or just put LCD. Once it's done, right, you can start playing with the the synchronization and such. Just hit down to the SL wireless fan utility. See, this will prompt. It will tell you what to click. If you click here, it's actually meant for LCD. If you click on the fan blade, it will be the fan profile. If you click on the lighting effects on the side, it will be the ARGB effect. So with this say, right, as you can see, I have labeled earlier on, so I know that this is for the SL and this is for the LCD. I'll start off with the SL. You can do lots of things with it, as in like, you know, tons of effect. See, it's reacting, and of course you can change color if you want to. Okay, let me just do this as, okay, I'll just do both. Let me just do this as static color. So with static colors, right, you see, you will have this. I forgot to apply. Yep. Make sure you apply and you will show the static colors. And you can change the static colors. See, let's say I want it all yellow and apply. Now, probably my camera is not picking up the colors based on the fact that it's too bright. Okay, hopefully you guys can see. Maybe I should change the color to red. Now, it doesn't justify on what you see on the camera right now, because these colors are very vibrant, very bright, but it doesn't glare to my eyes. But the diffusion is perfect. So let's say I set it this way, right, and now to apply. See, it's all in red. And as you can see, right, see, the ARGB is on two zones, on the contour and on the straight. See, very nice. And same goes to the other side. Now, besides this, you can set the different frame, as in like, this is overall the first zone and the second zone. Okay, first zone is the straight, ARGB straight. Second zone is the contour. So we can set over here. See, this is the contour. I can set differently. Let's say I'll set ping pong and to apply. See, you will reflect. And if you set this to something else, let's say I put ripple and to apply. See, as you can see, the two zones, right, they are reacting differently. So these are the basics that you can do with the SL wireless. And of course, you can combine and to do all this, you know, this effects like reverb and such. See, all very nice effect. And of course, you can tune the speed. You, let's say you want it slower, you just apply. See, it goes slow. I would say I would change this color so that you can see. Alright, I apply. Okay, see, it's going slow. Else, if you were to do it fast, it will be super fast. See? And of course, you can adjust the brightness. This will tone down. And if you do not want the ARGB, right, probably you will be asking, how do I turn off the ARGBs when it's operational? You can just set brightness to 0 when you apply. It's off totally. So this is how it's being done. And you can change direction if you want to. See, it's changing direction. Or you want to change again. See, it's this direction. Okay, I'll go so. This is this direction. When I change the direction and apply, it's going the other direction. Then on the LCD part, okay, you have more things to play with. So besides the ARGB, okay, let's say right now I set it to rainbow and to apply. See, it will react. Okay, I know this is actually very confusing on this and this. Let me just set this to a static color so that it's not so confusing on the, on the SL. And I would say, okay, correct. Okay, I'll leave it stagnant here. So concentrate on this. On the LCD, as mentioned, you can play with the lightings. See, there are tons of things to play with, ping pong, etc. You will just follow. Again, you can change direction by picking apply. See, things like that. So there are lots of things to play with in this interface. Okay. Probably I'll go back to rainbow. See, this is rainbow. So sorry about it, there's a glitch over there, which I think I pressed too fast. Anyway, I'm just saying that you can play lots of different effects and such using the okay, this is back to normal, using the application over here. And I can set, see, this is Morpheus, things like that. Another thing that you can play, which is the LCD. When you click on LCD, this will show. Now you can change this orientation. Since this is actually horizontally, I can just switch. See, when you switch, right, you follow. And individually, you can add pictures, you can add dynamic GIF, you can add videos, you can add sensor or animation. Okay, let me just show you an example for animation. See, these are the animation that you can do. See, and you feel that this is not the correct orientation, you can rotate it. See, I'm rotating it. Okay, someone is actually climbing, I can rotate again. So this works individually, but you will need to select what to show. On the center part where I highlight, let's say I want to do a sensor. See, this is the sensor. You can select whatever readings that you want, the CPU, the GPU, and such. And these are the styles. See, the different style. There are a total of 5 styles. And if you want to change the color, no problem. You can click here, and let's say I want just black. See, you will just go black. Then if you want to change the wording, text and such, you can do that too. Let's say I put it yellow. See, my reading is in the yellow. And if you want the wording, the CPU and the temp to be in red, you can just click and to select red, place it here, place it here. See, it becomes red. And as for the third one, right, probably you wanted to have a video, you can just select video. I have re-uploaded this, which you can select and you will just play. See, or you can just click here, it will just show you another video. Now, another thing about the video itself, you can add videos by uploading a MP4. This will autofill, meaning to say whatever you upload, right, you will just take it as it is and you will just play. And do be mindful that when you're uploading videos, right, make sure that it's within the 3 minutes length. Do not go exceed that. If you exceed that, right, there will be a glitch, just to let you know. So make it below 3 minutes. But most of the time I won't be using the autofill, I'll be using this upload MP3 editor. So when you click on this, right, you can load whatever video that you wanted. Let's say I want to load this. Okay, you can select the size that you wanted. Okay, probably I play. Okay, let's say I wanted this. This is the correct size, or should I say the correct position. You can start recording. You can record to the ones that you needed, as in like the video clip itself, and to click on the check mark. It's either you want to edit further. Okay, let me just show you. If you want to edit further, it's like you do not want this to be the starting point. So at the top over here, right, you can just drag. Okay, let's say you want this starting point. So at the bottom, right, this is your marker where it says that this is going to start at this point. Then ending point, same thing. You can move and say that, okay, I don't want this L here, I want it to be here. Again, using this marker, you can just move to the back. Then you import. When you import, okay, this is going to take some time, it will load. Once that's done, right, take a look at the display, which I've loaded. Okay, this will take some time. The lengthier your video is, the longer it will render. So do not touch it, let it render. In no time, right, it will just import in for you automatically. See, it's imported. So when this is imported, right, see what happened? My display changes. Before it was this. See? No, before it was actually this. So right now it changes to this. So these are things that you can actually do. Same thing with your picture. You can add as in like autofill, pick up a picture, or you want to edit the picture. Okay, I don't have a picture with me right now, but you can do that. Same apply to the dynamic GIF. Oh, sorry. Correction, dynamic GIF is just to load the GIF, that's it. And as for animation, you can't add. These are the preset from Lian Li. So see? So you can work with it. Or if you want all to be sensors, right, you can just select a sensor. Then you can select whatever sensor style you want, and etc. Let's say I set it to 5. See, this is what's going to happen. Then if you click on the center portion, right, you can set sensor again, which reading you want. Probably you want CPU load, you can put a CPU load. Then you can select the styles that you want, and same goes to here. You can set sensor, and let's say I want to show GPU temperature. So these are the things that you can play with. See, it's very neat, and best part, you can change the colors. Now with this say, right, the last thing that you will need to know is actually the fan and pump profile, which you can use back this, okay, the interface, or this interface. You don't have to click on the fan and pump profile. You can just select, see, this is fan profile. Okay, let me just go slower, especially on the LCD. When you point to the center, this is LCD. When you click on it, it will be the LCD configuration that you want to do. If you click on the side, which is lighting effects, where it shows this, you can toggle with your ARGBs. And last but not least, the blade. Okay, this is where it shows the fan profile. You can do, like, for example, right now the RPM is at this rate, which is 1076 to 84, around there. You can set it to full high or whatever. Let me just set it to high, and I apply. See, oh, I don't have to apply, I just highlight that. See, it went up. Or if you want to, you can set to quiet. Look at the RPM, it will just go down. See, slowly go down. And of course, you can do custom. If you do custom, right, in the way that you have to do on the fan and pump profile. So instead of clicking there, you can click here. It will take you to this area. So you can start to do your custom profile. For example, let's say I want a flat line, and I will go probably around, okay, probably I'll go around 1300. Okay, and I apply. As you can see, right, see, this is going 1300. So this is how it works. Now I'm not connected this to the RPM of my motherboard. You can do that on this profile, right? Okay, you can check to this. Now do take note, if you are in this interface, right, whereby you set the custom, okay, over here, where you set the custom over here, right, you do not have the synchronizing to motherboard RPM. So you will need to click on the fan and pump profile to check this, and you synchronize to your motherboard. So the readings will be, I mean the RPM will be based on your motherboard UEFI or BIOS. This is the second part of the illustration where I mix and match. See, this is of a normal SL, this is of the LCD, and this is the arrangement. Do take note on the limitation on how many you can plug to one group. Okay, I mentioned that earlier on, so you can rewind to that timestamp and take a look. Now, as mentioned to you, you can mix and match, and on the interface itself, take a look. Of course, when you do this, right, make sure you plug it, turn off your machine, plug it, and to reboot it, and to resync. I mean to resync at the L wireless sync, because you wouldn't want to have the old cache that is, you know, from formal settings, right, to bring forward to whatever setting you're doing right now. So make sure you do that. I would advise that before you do the changes, right, over at the L wireless sync, disengage all first, close the L connect application, shut down your machine, then do the arrangement that you wanted, then you plug back, you turn it on back, and to link it over here. Once it's linked, right, everything will be done nicely. As you can see over here, you see 1 and 2, where 1 you have the center, which is this, with the LCD. and the both side, right? I mean, it's a good thing that this L Connect 3 application can pick up wirelessly, that at the side is with normal SL and at the center is with the LCD. Same goes to the top, which is the second one. You have both sides LCD, as you can see on the dashboard. Both side LCD, and at the center the normal SL. So if you want to change anything, right, it's the same as how you did with what I've shown you earlier. So just a short illustration. So when you click on LCD, right, see, it will show you. Then what you can do is that you can select, let's say, a video, okay, and to load. See, it will load. And even if you rotate, see, it will rotate. And you find that this is not the order on the dashboard, right? You can just switch. See, it will load. And of course, over here you have to click on this LCD panel. Sorry, it's already here. Then you can just select, okay, probably over this round, right, you can load another file. See, it loaded. Not an issue. If you want to do stats, you can just change to stats, as in like the sensor, and to show your status. It's a very neat, I should say, a very neat product, whereby it's wireless, one thing, and another thing is that you can sync up this way, as like match and mix. Very interesting. Same goes to the bottom. If you want to change anything, right, probably you want to change to run away for the ARGB, you can just apply, and you will just see, you will just follow. And if you want to do anything with the LCD, you can just click on the LCD, and to do whatever video that you wanted, let's say you want this, okay, probably how to rotate it. You can rotate to the correct direction. Okay, this is the correct one. So you can do all this, or even you can pull to the second video that you wanted. And again, you need to rotate this due to the different orientation that you have. Okay, hope that I did it correctly this time. See? So this is what it can be done. And again, you can set status if you want to, or you want to set animations, up to you. The default Lian Li animation. And this is actually incorrect. You can just rotate again, as mentioned to you. See? In fact, it should be this way. Nope. This way. Yep, that's right. So these are things that you can actually do on the Uni Fans, which are wireless, which is amazing. And on top of it, right, you can have the fan profile. If let's say you click on the blade, you can set it. Look at the RPM right now. Okay, you can set it quiet, and you will just go down. Okay, it's going down. See, it's very responsive. My thoughts about this wireless Uni Fans: the experience was great, inclusive of your, PC components are of the latest and greatest, I should say. Then you shouldn't run into a problem. But I do run into a problem when I test on older boards like the B450 or the Z390, which is actually off my settings. I was just curious if this is able to cater. But sad to say that even if I were to power up on the 3-pin connectors, right, there seems to be some flickering on and off. Okay, I mean, it does run smoothly, but when it's about 2 or 3 hours later, when your PC go to sleep and such, right, that's where you hit the problem. Else, on a latest processor or motherboard, you shouldn't have this problem, because I didn't encounter any as I was running it for like 3-4 hours, and you went to sleep after 45 minutes, and I bring it up, right, everything is intact. So not an issue. It just happened on the older motherboards that I face. And let's talk about the beauty of this, whereby it gives you the function you can switch, like mix and match with ease, and it's simply plug and play. It's like if you want to add some more, right, you just add it to this 3P, the splitter, right, with the receiver and the fan, right, you can just plug anywhere you want on the case itself. It's that easy. You don't have to fiddle with so much cable mass like the previous version. That was really a hassle. Plus you have this so big box with only 4 ports, but this one stick controller can control up to 10 channels, okay, inclusive of the 2 streamers, which is wireless. So that leaves you to 8 channels, which is 8 group of fans that you can play with. I've tested out individually, as in, like, you know, having the reverse blade and this individually to the 8 channels. It works. I mean, no issue, no nothing. It will just work. And besides this, right, the structure of the fans itself is very solid. In fact, I feel that this is even well made compared to the TL fans. The TL have some glitch here and there, as I find, based on the LCD itself. I don't really like the TL based on the fact that it's using the 6-pin connector, which to me is actually a hassle. And also this, right, it keeps it sharp and simple, and all the connections are very... Oh, do take note on the cable connection itself. They are very thin, so don't break it, okay? So long you handle with care, right, all this will function properly. And next of all, the functionality, as in, like, it's a very brilliant idea to have a controller and a receiver, okay, as in, like, that will send a command and this will receive. It's brilliant. Plus the 2.4 gigahertz, right, in fact it's within the case itself, so you don't have to worry about microwave that is causing the interference and such. So far when I test, it does not have that. And on top of which, one thing which really surprised me, that I can control individual LCD when it's at mixed mode. This is shocking. Truly amazing piece of work that Lian Li have actually done. Though there are some room improvements, like the connection point, as I mentioned, those are too thin. Like the cap over here where you plug in and out, probably that can improve further. And also on the controller itself, where you have this cable that is connecting internally, that you have a proprietary connector to the controller, right, probably that can improve with a bigger plug. Since it's already so big, right, why not just have a plug, just plug and remove? That is easy. But overall, I would say that just my opinion, if you guys want to purchase this and to make use of this, right, at all times make use of the 3-way splitter, okay? Get clean power to your fans, so that will less off all the problems, as in, like, your motherboard is not able to cater the amperage or the power drawn. And also to the fact that for the controller, right, as mentioned to you, I have a method whereby you connect to a extension USB connector. That will be even great, as compared to the flimsy cables that you have to connect to the back of the controller. I in fact do not like that at all. Another point is that for case fans, yes, I would recommend this truly. But for radiator fans, right, based on the fact that I still prefer to plug the radiator fans directly to the motherboard, whereby this, right, is rather troublesome, because when you connect to the CPU fan 1, right, imagine that you connect the controller PWM to the CPU fan 1, the rest of the fans will follow, so that will mess up the for me, which is the airflow. I prefer to control, like, top, bottom, rear to a certain limit on the RPMs, so equal air in and equal air out. And as for the radiator, right, for the liquid AIO, right, that will be on a separate connection point, which is the CPU fan 1, which I always tune. So this is one of the downside using just one connection PWM connector. But overall, I would say that if you do not use that PWM connector, right, you still can rely on the L-Connect 3 application to individually set the sets of fans based on their RPM. Not an issue. But just be cautious that sorry about this. Just be cautious that for your liquid AIO, right, if you intend to use this and on the L-Connect, right, make sure that you have some monitor sensor on your LCD, so that it will alert you whether the fan is working or not. If temperature goes up and things like that, you will have some kind of warning. So that's all I have for this Uni Fan's wireless. It's a pleasant ongoing thing that I feel that this is the future. So if you guys are interested to purchase this, right, probably you have to wait because this is newly released. I have no information on where to purchase this, but it's going to be out soon. So check out on Amazon, Newegg, maybe eBay, or maybe at your own online shops and such. With this said, I'd like to thank Lian Li to have provided all this you need. Greatly appreciated. In fact, I was shocked that they gave me the whole set. I guess they wanted me to build, which is true, build this on the 011 Vision Compact, which I like that case a lot. Okay, back to where I say thanks to Lian Li to have provided this unit for me to share with you guys, and also to Block Soda. Greatly appreciated that most of the time you've been having this effort to send this item to me. Greatly appreciate that. Now, for those of you actually new to my channel, welcome to my channel. If you like my content, do remember to subscribe and to click on the notification bell button. Till then, take care, goodbye, see ya.